Dr. Brittany Kobia, it's coming from Alabama.com, said Monday that all but one of her COVID patients in Alabama did not receive the vaccine. The vaccinated patient, she said, just needed a little oxygen and is expected to fully recover. Some of the others are dying. I'm admitting young, healthy people to the hospital with very serious COVID infections, wrote Kobia, a hospitalist at Grandview Medical Center in Birmingham. She wrote this on Facebook on Sunday. Quote, one of the last things they do before they're intubated is beg me for the vaccine. I hold their hand and tell them that I'm sorry, but it's too late. Alabama has about 34% of its people who are vaccinated. In Alabama, state officials, this is according to Alabama.com, state officials report 94% of COVID hospital patients and 96% of Alabamians who have died of COVID since April were not fully vaccinated. Kobia wrote on Facebook, a few days later, when I call time of death, I hug their family members and tell them the best way to honor their loved one is to go get vaccinated and encourage everyone they know to do the same. They cry and they tell me they didn't know. They thought it was a hoax. They thought it was political. Where are they getting this idea? They thought because they had a certain blood type or a certain skin color, they wouldn't get as sick. They thought it was, quote, just the flu. Where did they get that idea? I remember what Sean Hannity was saying at the beginning of this. In fact, I think 8, 9 months, I think a year ago, I said at one point we're going to be able to overlay deaths from COVID with Sean Hannity's ratings. And we're going to see, at the very least, a correlation. I would argue a causation. They thought it was just a flu, but they were wrong. And they wish they could go back, but they can't. So they thank me and they go get the vaccine. And I go back to my office, write their death note, and say a small prayer that this loss will save more lives. And then she writes, and it's very sort of like frank and honest of her. She said, you know, you want to walk into that room thinking that they've made their own choice by not getting vaccinated, but then you get in there and you see that they're human beings who are suffering and you feel horrible. And of course, and this is someone who has been, you know, dealing with this pandemic for a year and a half intensely, as someone who works at a hospital. It's really horrific. I honestly, I don't know how someone like Tucker Carlson or Laura Ingraham, I don't know how they sleep at night. And I mean, I know that sounds sort of hackneyed, but I really don't. I mean, how despicable. How just like, it's just insane to me, but I don't know. And, you know, frankly, it doesn't matter if there's one moment where Sean Hannity or Ben Shapiro say, I got vaccinated, you should get vaccinated. My wife got vaccinated, you should get vaccinated. If you spend the rest of the time, and anybody who's been doing what they've been doing for any period of time understands how their message is received. When they say that one time and then they have 3 other segments that night or the next day or the week that create vaccine skepticism.
Hannity literally sandwiched his one with those type of segments.
Yeah, I'll tell you why they do that. Okay, this is a little professional trade secret. They do that so they can look to that when they get accused of causing this type of death and destruction. They can look at it and say, look at what I did. Look at this segment. And they know that you or us or the general population won't say, well, look at the aggregate of everything you've done. Look at the aggregate of everything you've done over the course of this entire time. Never mind just the show itself, that one show. They know what they're doing. It's almost more despicable. Steve Scalise comes out and says, I got the shot on Sunday. Well, you know what, dude? Why do you think there is a Delta variant? It is because we haven't vaccinated enough of the world. And that world happens to include the United States. So the idea of like, well, now I got it because the Delta variant is here. It's just unbelievable to me. It's just unbelievable. Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.